like praising God. So
Right.
you
You know
just
who that was?
that's the devil.
Who that? You know who that was?
Who?
And listen to him from once in a while.
Who?
You at first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
And
happened?
Dan didn't want to do it either. You know, around me, I fought it for a couple of seconds, and then I said, "Thus say the Lord, no matter what happens, I pay the price."
But here's what happens when you don't feel like praising God, or you don't feel like giving a word. You just feel like being lazy. You sit down or you lay down. The next thing you know, the devil goes, "You should listen to this song over here." Next thing you know, you got some rock tune going on in your mind, and you're jamming out
Right.
some rock and roll, and you're not doing anything for God. The
But
best
here's
bet.
something people
Go
that
ahead.
got to understand. So for interrupting you, that when you do what God told you to do, and you do it right with faith, I mean, you didn't want to do it, but still did it in faith, God will exalt you.
Right.
And I mean by exalt you, you could do it from one person or a million people, or even the whole church.
Bible says what you do in the secret, rewarding to you in the open.
Right. I seen it happen 3 or 4 times with me. You were there a couple of times.
And the Bible also says, do not be like the hypocrites who stand on the street corner proclaiming God for themselves.
Right.
Look at me. I'm preaching the word. I'm preaching it to you. It's me. See, what happens is when you do for God in the secret, that doesn't mean stay home and do for God at home. That means when you're going out there and you're praying for Susie Smith or you're praying for Bishop and Dr. Cheryl, you don't go up there. You don't go up there and say, "I'm going to pray for you for this, this, and this reason." You just say, "Can I pray for you?" And then you pray.
Right.
That's what he's talking about in the secret, where you're not letting the right hand know what the left hand is doing. See what I'm saying?
Right. It's true.
And when you do that, that's when God will start rewarding you in the open. I mean,
Right. The only way God will reveal openly is to let people know that you ain't doing right because you weren't listening the first time, but He gives you warnings the first time,
right.
2 or 3, whatever it takes.
And here's a perfect example of God rewarding somebody in the open. And I give this as an example again, but because it's a true example. But I used to take a friend of mine out to this China 8 buffet on Gratiot Roseville every month. Well, once a month, I'll take him 1 month. He'll take me the following, and I'll take him again, and he'll take me. So we take turns taking each other to the China 8 buffet, right? And one day I said, "Okay, I got about $100 in my account. You ready to go out to lunch?" He goes, "Absolutely, Andrew. We'll go out to lunch." I said, "Sounds good to me." And so I got into his car. And I said, "Let me make sure that I got $100. I call my account. And I listened to it, and I said, "Okay, cool. I got it." And I hung up. I looked at him. I said, "Wait a minute." I called the number back, and I said, "Listen." They said, "Your available balance is 7,000 some odd dollars." I said, "Huh?" He looks at me. He goes, "Where'd you get that from?" I said, "I have no idea." I said, "Yesterday I had $100 in my account about." I said, "I have no idea." He goes, "Well, you better call him and make sure it's yours and make sure that it's not a mistake." I called him up and I said, "Yes. Can you please tell me what my bank account balance is?" They go, 7,000 some odd dollars. I said, "And that's my money and I can spend it?" They sounded like I was weird, but they go, yes, that's your money. You can spend it. I said, "Okay, thank you and goodbye." I hung up
I
the
remember.
phone and we had a good dinner, a good lunch.
I remember how you spend it too.
What's that?
I remember how you spend it too.
Oh, I spent a whole lot of that. But the example is
Go
go
there.
ahead, say it
You
again.
won't go. Well, I just put it in. You spend it wisely, unwisely.
Yeah, but the whole gist of
But
that
you gave
story is, go ahead.
church, give a lot to the church stuff.
But the whole gist of that story is not that I spent it unwisely sometimes. The whole gist of the story is I did for God in the secret. I prayed for people at Liberties. I talked with people. I held Bible studies that if the state would have walked in, I would have been kicked out of there. I did stuff for God in the secret, not telling people, not telling the right hand or left hand what the left hand is doing, not telling people why I'm doing this. I just did it because I love
People
God.
were, people were witnessing the liberties and
Oh yeah,
prophesying there, and people got changed.
oh
People
I
got
know.
better. Some went back to their wicked ways. Though it's a shame,
Yeah,
but
but I
God,
did it. But I did it, Steve, because I loved God and wanted God to be preached. Not because I wanted something, but because I loved God. And being because I loved God and that's why I did it, God rewarded me in the open. That's why Lenny was so shocked, because it was me being rewarded in front of him in the open. See, if I would have said, Lenny, I'm going to take you out to dinner because God's going to give me some money, and then if it did happen, would he be so surprised? Of course not, because now he knows what the deal is. He gave it to me because God was going to give it back, so it wouldn't be a surprise. But being that I did it in the secret and rewarded in the open in front of him, that's what made him surprised that I got that money.
and Lenny could have got favor from God, and God put it on you for the blessing.
Oh, I
Vice
know.
versa.
But Lenny, on the other hand, though, Lenny, he was one of the staff members at Liberties, not Lonnie, but Lenny, and
Right.
he was very. He was one of those guys that was just a little too inappropriate for my taste. But he was still my friend, and I still tried showing God's love to him no matter what. Because the Bible,
Amen.
because the Bible says that no matter what, in the presence of your enemies, you're supposed to show God's love. It says, "Love your enemies." As excuse me,
So what's
it
so what's been
says,
happening right now with God?
hold on just for a minute. It says, "Love your enemies as you love yourself," and it doesn't mean only love certain people that are not so inappropriate. No, it says, "Love your enemies as you love yourself."
Right.
So
So
your
how you gonna have
question,
mercy?
so your question was now what, Steve?
So what's going on in your life right now? And what's been happening lately?
Everything is. That brings me to another point. You're God's speaking through you right now because I had a question to ask you, and I didn't know. I don't know. Didn't know if I wanted to ask it on the podcast per se,
Go
but
ahead.
because a lot of some of the people that I work with are friends with me on Facebook, but
Yeah.
I'm not doing a Facebook Live at the moment, so they're not hearing it now. And the only way for them to actually hear what I'm going to say, they have to actually go to my
Right.
TGIF page. And let me say
Right.
this real quick too. All of you go to Andrew Kuslick, AndrewKuslick, and go to my Thank God Is Forever page, and please like the page. I've been getting lots of likes this week, Steve. So please go there and like the page and listen to some of the stuff that's going on. You don't have to go very far to hear the podcast. You can go straight to my Thank God Is Forever page, my TGIF page, and you can like it. You can subscribe to the page, and you can get all kinds of notifications. Hey, we can even hang out on the page and we can talk a little bit if that's what you prefer. So please go to
Yeah.
my
So
TGIF Thank God's Forever page and please like the page and do some listening and looking at what's going on with the page.
I'm
But
not
go
gonna
ahead.
mention or exactly where you're working at. How you like your transfer?
Don't get too ahead of yourself just yet.
No, no, I'm just saying that
I'm going
I
to
was
get
praying about it and I said, there's you want well you think well put it this way, like you gotta I can ask you a question. Why let's put it this way, rephrase the question. So why did God put you in for a transfer
hold on just from
at
you're going
you
hold
know what I
on,
mean?
hold on just for a brief second. You're getting way ahead of what I'm trying to do here, Steve.
I know, but because when they had so much time, it's been on 12 o'clock already.
Yeah, I know. But what I was trying to say is to really quickly so I don't lose my train of thought. Uh, So a lot of them can't hear this right now or don't know where to go to hear this part. But I'm being transferred to a different store for specific reasons that don't need to be mentioned, but I am being transferred from the Ravenna Wendy's to the Rootstown Wendy's. Now,
He
my
just told you. I didn't
yep,
say it.
I haven't been transferred yet. I will be transferred as of next week. But here's my question about this.
Okay, I'll answer your question then
I'm gonna
after
ask
you
you.
finish.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Now,
Because
even though this is because of somebody doing some wrong towards me and my wife, okay?
yeah,
Can I still be excited about the move?
yeah. And I'll
Why?
tell you what.
Go ahead.
God could put you there to bear witness to somebody.
At the new
I don't
store.
care. No, I don't see the way around here is when
Can I
it's one.
still be excited about? Hold on, I'm trying to do something quick.
Yeah, I said I don't care like it's one lost soul, they'd be saved. God had a reason why you're there.
Absolutely. So I told my wife, I said, I'm sorry to say this, hon. I said, but I am very excited that I'm going to a different store. To that degree, I said, I'm excited today about something. And I am. I'm excited to go to a new store because it's a new environment. Maybe God, maybe God's telling me that my job here at the Ravenna store is over because I did what I could do. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
you can only do what you can do until God tells you it's done. It's just like how many times have I got down to earth with one of the guys at my workplace who happens to be gay? How many times have I gotten down to earth and told him parts of my life that I would never tell anybody? I got so personal with him to let him know about where I come from and what happened because one day he was he was really bumming out and he was talking about how his day's going bad and this happened and that happened and he just
And now,
wants
another the guy was suicidal.
he
I'll
just
say
want
that.
he just wanted to die at that time. He says, I just want to go home and die. I said, Bryson, I
Right.
said, well, excuse
Oops.
me. I didn't mean to say his name, but it's okay.
Bryson is his name, anyways.
But anyways, I
Bryson
said, look. I
named
said,
after
look.
a buff. Made you laugh.
But I said, look. I said, I'm sorry your day's going bad. I said, but let me just let me say this to you. I said, you don't want to die. It's not going to do you any good. And what you're going through right now is not something that should make you that depressed that you want to
Yeah.
die over it. I said, I know you have
Right.
anxiety. I said, but let me just say there is other people out there worse than you are. I said, and let me give you some examples. And I started telling him about how my dad used to do, how I was picked on in school and how I got beat up a lot. And I kind of got into the point where I grew up in some boys' homes. And then I almost got to the point where I said to him that my dad had sexually abused me. I almost got to that point, but as soon as I was getting there, you know how the devil is. The wife came out.
Because
You ready to go home, Andrew? Oh yeah, I'm ready to go home. I had no choice. She came out and she was ready to go home, and she wasn't going to wait for me. So you know how the devil is when he gets to that point to where you're about to get to something that's so out there with God that he don't want that to be spoken because he knows that was going to have some effect on him.
in order
He
you were
stopped
telling
it.
me, so we're not totally lost.
Right. I basically gave him the examples of me to the point where I almost went and told him that my dad sexually abused me. I said my dad did some things to me as well that I never wanted to happen. He goes, "Why are you telling me these things?" I said, "Because I'm showing you that there's somebody else that is worse off than you,
Right.
and that what you're going through might seem like it's big and like you can't take it and you want to die, but other people went through worse things than you have." And I gave him all those examples about things and how my dad. I even said to him, I said I used to have a bedwetting problem. My dad used to sit me on a staircase with my wet clothes, and every time friends came over, well, Aunt, you can't play. Like he's sitting on the stairs, he wet the bed. So I mean, I got personal with him to let him know